Hello everyone, welcome back to those of you who've been on my channel before. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name's Tim and I ride a recumbent trike. I make videos of my rides for you guys to enjoy. At the moment I'm in the middle of a series of short videos just detailing different aspects of the trike and my kit that I take along with me, and answering some subscriber questions. I'm going to be doing that for perhaps the next week to 10 days on a daily video, just short ones. But if you have a look at some of my older videos, you'll see what I normally do. Mini tours and some long distance tours, and I'll be touring again later this year if you like that sort of thing. Please think about clicking the subscribe button down below, and if you enjoy this video today, please don't forget to give it a like. I would really appreciate that. So, without further ado, let's get to today's subject matter, and then we'll have a little chat about yesterday's comments after that. Right, so it's becoming a bit of a theme this week on the comments to my videos about the cost of trikes and how expensive they are, as we all know. So are the accessories and the parts that go with them. One of the most expensive, or probably the most expensive part of my trike, is the Rohloff hub. It's not something that I want to have to replace on my trike in a hurry. It's best part of £1,200 in the UK. Don't know how much they are in the US. I'll perhaps put it up on the screen if I can find it. But yeah, nice bit of kit to have, but you need to look after them. So today I'm going to change the oil on mine. According to the Rohloff, the oil should be changed every 5,000 kilometers or yearly. So let's have a look, see how easy it is to change this oil. So there's the hub. It's in the centre of the rear wheel. For those of you that haven't seen one before, it's basically a set of internal gears. There's 14 gears in there with no external moving parts, just this one cog at the back where the chain goes around. As I say, fantastic bit of kit, and I'm quite keen to look after it. So the kit that you need to change the oil on the Rohloff hub is this. Guess where I got that? Yeah, you're right, Amazon. This is Rohloff article number 8410. It's a 5-part kit. Yeah, 5 parts in this kit. And word of advice, if you go on Amazon and look for that kit, you will find lots of different kits on there. For the sake of about £5 difference, I would suggest you buy the proper Rohloff kit to ensure that you're getting the right oil in the kit. As I say, we've got 5 pieces. Let's get them all out so we can have a look. Instructions, who needs them? Right, here we go then. Oh, mustn't lose that. Right, so we have a syringe, a little piece of pipe, and in the end of that piece of pipe is a threaded plastic screw. Other than that, it's just a piece of plastic pipe. As I say, syringe, just an ordinary syringe, nothing special about that. This little thing, it's a grub screw. It's for replacing the old screw that's in there once we've done the job. And the white stuff around it is the sealant to stop the new oil from coming out. Mustn't lose that. Then we have the first part of the cleaning kit. This is the cleaning oil. That goes in first. Helps to flush out the old oil. And then when we finally got that all out, we can come to this bottle, and that is the oil that's going to stay in there for the next year, or 5,000 kilometres. Right, let's make a start on the hub then. So, using a 3mm Allen key, I'm going to undo that. Right, so that's the grub screw out. I'm going to put the pipe on the end of the syringe, take our cleaning oil, and suck that up into the syringe. Make sure we get that all up. Did we get it all? Yep. So that's all the cleaning oil in the syringe. Now, for the ease, all the oil is in the bottom of there, so for the ease of putting this plastic tube into the grub screw hole, I'm just taking the plastic tube off, screwing that in, and then we'll put that back on there again. There we go. Once that's done, I'm going to inject the oil, all of it. I'm going to inject all that oil into the hub. Make sure we get it all in there. Now, it's important to pull back on the syringe a bit once you've put that in, otherwise we've got air pressure inside there, and when I unscrew that little pipe we'll get a sudden little so we just need to back off on the syringe a bit to reduce the air pressure inside the hub. That'll do. Now we can take that off. Now, having put the cleaning fluid in, I'm going to put the grub screw back in the hole. Fiddly job for big old fingers like mine. There we go. So that grub screw back in. Now what we have to do is the fun bit. We now have to go for a ride for about 1 kilometre. On the instructions it says, or you can spin the wheel and change gears between 3 and 5 for the next 10 minutes. I've got a wonderful trike to ride. Who wants to spin a wheel? Let's go for a ride for 1 kilometre or 2. Oh, I can almost feel that cleaning fluid working its magic in the back of that hub. There's a woman up here, she just came past me, she's taking her cat for a walk. I kid you not. Here she is out in the countryside and the cat's just quite happily following her along, going for a walk. I don't know, maybe you don't find that unusual, I do. Right, that's the kilometre done. Kilometre plus. Now we've got to change back to the normal oil and job done. So having been out on that ride, you see the grub screw there pointing upwards. That's the wrong way up. We need it to point downwards and let it drain for 10 minutes so that all the nasty little old oil is down in the bottom of the hub, ready for when we drain it in a moment. So I'm going to spin that wheel round, let it drain, and then I'll bring you guys back. And of course, because you know me so well, 10 minutes to spare, coffee time. Right, well the next bit was pretty much impossible for me to show you anyhow, but basically it was just me taking the screw out from underneath the hub whilst it was pointing downwards, and I've attached the plastic pipe and the syringe back to it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to suck all that cleaning fluid and the old oil out back into the syringe. Right, so that's that drained. I think that's proof positive for the reason why we want to be changing the oil. Definitely time for changing that. So now all we have to do is repeat what we did with the cleaning fluid. We're going to suck up the oil into the syringe and push the oil back into the hub. So then we have to replace that little grommet screw once the oil is changed. An incredibly fiddly little job, but it's done. And there's one important point to remember, having done that, is that that screw must be flush with the surface of the hub. If you put it in too deep, then it can affect the gear changes and may even ruin the gearbox. So always ensure that that is flush, or even just a quarter of a millimetre proud. So that's that, guys. That's the oil change for the hub. That'll do me for another year or 5,000 kilometres, depending which one comes first. So I hope that was a little bit informative to somebody. But as I mentioned yesterday, what I really want to talk to you about today is other maintenance on the Trike. What else have I done, and what else am I going to do to the Trike before touring this year? Oh, I had to get the hat out of the bag again. Too hot and sunny. So today I promised to talk to you about preventative maintenance. I suppose first I need to explain what I mean by preventative maintenance. Might be a bit different to what other people think. I'm not talking about the sort of maintenance on a Trike that can be done anywhere, like your puncture and oiling your chain and things like that. Although some people of course would say that oiling your chain is preventative maintenance. But I mean, those sort of things are easy. We can all do those. I'm more bothered about the sort of catastrophic things that can go wrong whilst you're on tour that could really ruin your day. For instance, I've just changed the oil on the hub, and I hope that that will keep the hub working for me for many miles to come. But that would be pretty catastrophic for me if I was, say, in the middle of a desert somewhere in Morocco and my hub suddenly went. So I'm talking about the kind of maintenance that stops that sort of thing from happening. So I have an admission to make, and it won't come as a great surprise to some of you out there, I'm sure. I'm not a mechanic when it comes to cycles. I know what to do to get by. I've brought some knowledge with me from when I was on 2 wheels, but there's certain things on 3-wheel trikes that I just don't know about. I don't want to put myself across on YouTube as being an expert when it comes to trikes. I'm not. I love riding them and they're great, and I love making these videos, but please don't ever think that I'm an expert when it comes to the mechanics of trikes. So things that I can do, and some of them I've already done before I go touring this year: changing the tyres and the inner tubes. Been asked in the comments this week, what tyres do I use? So I said in a recent video that I've changed the rear tyre to a Schwalbe Marathon Plus Tour. The Trike came with just Marathon Plus. The Tour tyre has a bit more tread in it. I wanted a bit more tread on the back because you've seen how much I like going off-road and playing in the mud. I'll also be changing the front tyres before I tour this year. I've already got the tyres at home. They're just exchange, same Marathon Plus tyres. I don't feel I need the grip at the front because it's the rear tyre that's doing all the work, pushing the front tyres along. I want good tyres with me when I'm touring, and I can use the old ones next winter when I'm just in training mode. I'll change the inner tubes as well. I use Schwalbe inner tubes, not for any particular reason. I guess I don't want to put some cheap Chinese knockoff inner tube in there. So in addition to the tyres and the inner tubes, I'll probably change the brake cables and maybe the gear cables to the Rohloff. The cable to the FNEO at the front is obviously quite new. Don't think I'll worry about that one. But yeah, brake shoes and cables for certain. And the one that I was hoping that you guys could help me out with, I'm sure that some of you guys out there who watch my channel can help me with this. I'm not very good with chains and the whole drivetrain thing. That little wheel under my seat, is it called the chain idler? Is that what it's called? I have no idea when that's going to wear out, how long they last, or even what it will look like when it's worn out. It might already be worn out, who knows? You guys do, and I hope you'll let me know. I'll stop and let you have a look at it in a minute. But also the chain. I know that Matt Gallett on his channel recently, he had a stretched chain. How do I know when my chain is stretched too long? Or when I've used it too long? What am I looking for? Is there a way of measuring it without taking it off the trike? Chain tubes. Do they wear out? If they do, when? I'm sure they're not very hard to replace. Yeah, I could do with some advice on all of that. I mean, obviously the FNEO gearbox at the front, I know about that. The Rohloff at the back, I know most of the stuff to do about that. But all the chain in between, shall I get off and point the camera at a few bits, and you can have a look and you can tell me whether it's already too worn. Let's have a look. Okay, so I've taken the seat off, and now we can see that little wheel underneath. This idler wheel, if that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. How do I know when that's worn out? Look, it's spinning. It doesn't make a noise. Let's have a look down on top of it. Can you see that in there? If I can show you that, it's got a millimetre of movement, sideways movement on it. Can I get it to focus that close? I don't know. Does that look worn? I don't know. You tell me, guys. I can't remember what it looked like when I first got the Trike, that's the thing. The chain tubes are a bit dirty, but again, if you can tell me how I know when they're worn out and when I need to change them. And also at the back here, that's the chain tensioner off the Rohloff. Now, is that at the right angle? I mean, obviously it can come all the way down here like this. Is that tight enough? Does it matter? What angle should that be at? Again, I can't remember what it looked like when I got the Trike. So if you need me to point the camera at anything else on that drivetrain so you guys can have a look, just let me know. But any advice you have on that, be really grateful. Thank you very much. You probably noticed I'm just riding up and down here on the same probably kilometre of path. I'm on the Route 1 near the canal as usual, but there's nobody along this part and it's really easy for me to use the camera and talk to you guys without having to concentrate too much on the footpath in front. And also, just on the maintenance side, if there's anything else you guys would like me to talk about maintenance on the Trike, let me know. I mean, as I say, I think most of us know how to change brake cables and brake shoes and things like that, so I don't really intend on making videos about that sort of thing. I'll never wear these trousers on the Trike ever again. I wore these walking trousers today, black crag hopper walking trousers, and you can probably hear they're rubbing on my knees as my legs go up and down. It's an annoying noise, and I'm pretty sure if I was to do anything more than probably 10 or 15 kilometres, I'd start to get sore knees as well where it's rubbing. I don't like that at all. So shall we talk about some of the comments from yesterday's video? Just one or two. So for Graham then, from the comments yesterday, I'm going to point the camera in the opposite direction just for a little while. Graham asked for a little bit less selfie, which I understand. Not everybody wants to see my ugly mug every video all the time. My only problem is the camera that I use doesn't really lend itself to pointing in the other direction because of the way the mic is mounted in the screen. I'll show you that another day when I talk about my cameras and my equipment for filming. But here we go, Graham. We'll see what it looks like and what it sounds like. I don't know. We'll see. So Dennis, yes, there are I'm going to be making a video later on in the week, or maybe early next week, about my cameras, the way I use them, the way I hold them, the way I get the footage and put them together and edit videos. So more about that on another day. And guys, thank you for the comments about the rear fender. One or two of you searched out prices that on the surface look very cheap, about $30 or £20 in English. I am aware that the rear fender can be got quite cheap in other places, but unfortunately in the UK we don't have a lot of people riding Trikes, and the shops won't stock specialist items like Trike rear fenders, unfortunately. So if I order one, I have to pay the postage on it, which then doubles the price of the fender, and I really don't like that idea. So as I said yesterday, the £170 is for a full set. That includes the very specialised front fenders that go on the Scorpion, and I think I will wait until I need to buy the full set, and then that postage becomes pretty much negligible when you're spending that much money. And finally for today, Mark, old school. No, I haven't managed to sort out the wet bum problem. I don't think I ever will. The way the front fenders are designed on this Trike, if I run through a puddle, the water's aimed directly at the bottom of my seat, and there's not a lot I can do about that other than wearing waterproof trousers, and I'm not going to do that. You get too sweaty. So I think that's something I'll have to put up with. I'll just have to avoid the puddles. Right, I guess that's it for today then, guys. I'm probably well over my 10 or 15 minutes budget again. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about clothing. I'll see you then. Ta-da.